ways did the culture you grew up in influence your perception of gender?
I think that having immigrant grandparents, and having, my dad was raised pretty traditionally, tradition Chinese, has greatly influenced me. Well, not greatly, because I've also on my other side, is white, and they have pretty progressive ideas of gender. So it's kind of a struggle. It's on one hand, I feel like I should do this and be independent and try to break through these traditional gender roles. But on the other side, I still have some pretty core values, traditional, so I have a struggle with it. I go back and forth with it a lot.
But it's a nice balance.
It is a pretty nice balance. I think as I've been getting older, I kind of lean a little bit more towards the traditional roles. Recently, I've been noticing, just slightly, because before I was like all for a progressive idea, like burn the bras type thing. So it's a day-to-day thing, I guess.
What are some problems you have to overcome in your life that you felt were related to you being a woman?
I think career-wise is just a constant struggle. Originally, I wanted to be in the local politics and such, and I even like entertained the thought of like maybe I could do something in a senator's office, and I've been shied, away from it several times, like even by women. They're like, oh, if you want a family, you can't do both. You need to choose, and it's very discouraging. And then it's also like, okay, where do you even find someone to date? You go through your undergrad and your master's program, and you're so focused in school, you don't even have time to, kind of get out there. And then, I keep getting told, I'm told constantly, your eggs are going to be getting old and things like that. And then it's discouraging and it's upsetting. It's like, I'm 23, I'm nowhere, I can't even take care of myself barely. How could I even think about having some kind of a family? And, so that's something that it bothers me. And I kind of, when I was younger, my idea was like, oh, graduate at 22, get a good job, get settled in, 25, meet someone, 26, married, pop out a kid at 27. And now I'm like 23, and I'm like, I might meet someone at 27, 28, maybe. Let's like pray for marriage. Not pray, but like,
when's it gonna happen?
Is it gonna happen before I'm 30 at all, or even engage, even meet someone? I think the age range has been pushed back quite a bit, and I'm okay with it now, because I feel like I'm only 23, and for some reason I have this idea that when you're 30, you're like your life's over. Not really, but like you should be more settled in. You can't. It's less of an excuse for not having your things together, not having a home, not having a set job, because in your 20s you should be traveling and trying things, I guess. So I feel like I'm 23 and I only have a few more years till I'm 30 type thing. So
it's like a rush to
it is a rush. So I feel like that whole marriage and that grown-up life, I guess, being pushed back doesn't bother me too much, but I feel like maybe my traditional side comes into play, because why I'm a little bit fearful of it, because I feel like once I'm married, that those traditional roles now will be applicable, whereas when I'm young and single, it's okay. I can live by the more not that I can't incorporate both, but for some reason I think that's where I've had the gray area than the black and white, that in my mind at this
because
moment.
Once you're actually in those roles, you have to adhere to those roles and those rules.
Because, and especially I think the dating thing. I think I ideally I'd like to have someone with a similar cultural background to me, which means that I have similar views on that, which I know what that entails. A little bit more, the gender roles are a little bit more defined, I guess.
Because it's almost taboo to be a woman who is successful and to have a man, who's less successful, or even accepting of you being as successful as you are, maybe even more than he.
Right, because even though we define success differently, in most modern day American terms, it's dollars
Mm-hmm.
and it's career and it's
Mm-hmm.
status. And, you know, I as much as I want to be independent and be able to take care of it, something does bother me about maybe making more
Mm-hmm.
than my future husband or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. I'm not really sure why that bothers me,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't want to feel like
As if we'll be like emasculating him somehow.
yeah, and I don't want to feel
Mm-hmm.
like that, or I don't want it to be
Or
like that.
have him feel that way.
Exactly, or and it kind of I feel like
Mm-hmm.
it's a big thing. You know, I know Asian culture saving face too, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that from the outside, maybe it wouldn't be as big a deal to me, but from the outside
Mm-hmm.
viewing in, it's like you're a woman taking care of a
Mm-hmm.
man when a man should be taking. You know, that's just the
Mm-hmm.
Asian values coming in a little bit more with the
Mm-hmm.
gender roles. I think so. Yeah, it's a awkward area.
And our last question is, what is your assessment of the level of gender equality in the United States?
I think that it is a large gray area. I definitely think it is not. I don't think there's equality there, but I think there's levels to it. I think socioeconomic status and you know um, ethnicity are huge factors. I feel like those are bigger factors there versus maybe the gender thing, because I think that there's a difference between a white female,
Mm-hmm.
you know, of upper class versus, you know, a woman of color of lower class, and even a man
Mm-hmm.
of color and lower class. I think that there's other factors that play into that. It's not just gender, it's not just male, female. There's a lot of other things you have to take into consideration, but I definitely don't think, I mean, just on the basic principle of it, I don't think that it's equal there. I think it's taking a few steps in the right direction, but I mean, I feel like I feel that the gender roles are the strongest in the workplace, and it's very uncomfortable. And I think the older I'm getting, the more I'm noticing it, and the more I don't like it. I don't. I notice it all the time. You know, I don't. I think that the entry level workers that's where you'll see a lot of women, and then a lot of the managers and supervisors are men, and I just see the weird, you know, because I work in an office, I see the weird dynamics of the secretary and the boss, and I don't.
It's like Mad Men era.
Yeah, and it doesn't sit right with me morally. I don't. That bothers me for some reason, because I feel like if I'm going to be playing those gender roles, I would probably only do that with my husband and not with a boss. Like, I'm not about to baby you, and you know, 'cause I see that going on almost. Like, it seems at work like I'm living in a household. It's a little awkward. I'm not a big fan of it.
Thank you.